Solo Sikoa wants Sami's help to beat Roman Reigns. Kevin Owens calls Drew McIntyre fake. WWE drops massive teaser of Bray Wyatt's return. Huge star traveling to Saudi Arabia for Roman Reigns vs. Logan Paul. Roman Reigns on why he took the match against Logan Paul. Roman Reigns sends first threat to Logan Paul. Let's jump right into our first story. Kevin Owens calls Drew McIntyre fake. Former WWE Universal Champion Kevin Owens stated what he said in his promo to Drew McIntyre had some reality to it, as he felt that the Scotsman was trying to be something he's not. Owens cut a fiery promo on WWE Raw last month, where he told fans and McIntyre that he is going to revert to his prizefighter gimmick and go after all the titles in the company. He also called the former champion a dumba ass. McIntyre hit back at Owens and told him that he doesn't care who he is and only wants to wrestle him. On the recent edition of The Bump, Owens explained why he said what he did and felt that the promo on WWE Raw ignited something in McIntyre. He said that Drew is incredible, but it seemed that he lost himself. What I told Drew that night, I felt that way about Drew for a long time. I think he's incredible in the ring, but to me, it seemed like he always tried to be something he's not. I told him that right to his face, and obviously, that did something to him. Look, he wants to credit me for it. I don't want to take any credit. I didn't always feel that way, said Owens. Owens continued, I thought Drew McIntyre, a few years ago, was tremendous. Then I don't know, something happened. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but at one point, in the last few years, I felt like I don't know if he was more worried about coming across as a superstar, whatever it was, but I felt like he lost himself. McIntyre and Owens wrestled that night on Raw, but the match ended in a DQ as the Usos attacked the Scottish star. Owens, who seems to be reveling after returning to his prizefighter gimmick, cut another red-hot promo on Raw, this time on Austin Theory. He got in the face of Theory and motivated him on how to make his own moments, which received a rapturous response from the crowd. A recent report has indicated that Owens has been moved to the babyface side of the roster on the Red brand after this past week's promo. Whom would you like to see Kevin Owens feud with next? Comment below. WWE drops massive teaser of Bray Wyatt's return. Rumors regarding Bray Wyatt's WWE return have gathered steam since Triple H took charge of the company. Amidst all the speculation, WWE seems to have dropped a massive hint towards Wyatt's comeback. At least, that's what many fans believe. Fans who attend WWE shows are often treated to unique segments during commercial breaks. However, something bizarre happened during the most recent SmackDown event in Anaheim, California. As seen in a few clips circulating online, WWE cut the lights out at the Honda Center and played the iconic psychedelic rock song, Jefferson's Airplane White Rabbit. Fans in the crowd quickly hoisted their phones up with their flashlights and formed a remarkable visual, similar to Bray Wyatt's Fireflies from the past. While many theories have been proposed on Twitter, most fans felt WWE might be setting the stage for Bray Wyatt's reappearance on TV. Triple H is expected to re-sign many former WWE talents, including even those stars who aren't being talked about in the public domain. However, Bray Wyatt doesn't fall under the above category, as he has been one of the hottest free agents in professional wrestling since his shocking WWE release. Recent rumors strongly suggested that Wyatt's WWE return was just around the corner, as he was initially speculated to interfere and clash at the Castle's main event. The former Universal Champion is yet to show up on WWE TV, and Dave Meltzer noted that talks between the company and Wyatt have unfortunately stalled. The 35-year-old star's asking price was said to be a problem, but that doesn't mean WWE won't try and convince him to rejoin the promotion. Triple H has many surprises lined up, and Wyndham Rotunda's long-awaited return could be one of them. Fans will have to wait and see if he shows up on the company's programming soon. What are your thoughts on possibly seeing Wyatt back in WWE? Sound off in the comments section below. Huge star traveling to Saudi Arabia for Roman Reigns vs. Logan Paul. Logan Paul might be getting some major backup against Roman Reigns, as his brother Jake Paul possibly hinted at attending the upcoming Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia. Logan Paul vs. Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship has been made official for Crown Jewel 2022. The PLE will emanate from Amar Soul Park in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, on November 5, 2022. Soon after the Crown Jewel press conference ended, Logan Paul's brother Jake Paul sent out an interesting tweet. Here's what he said: Logan is the definition of anything is possible. 2 matches in WWE and he's challenging for the belt. I might have to come to Saudi Arabia for this, he tweeted. Twitterati has been quite divided over Logan Paul getting an undisputed WWE Universal title opportunity against Roman Reigns. Jake Paul's tease about going to Saudi Arabia received a wide variety of interesting reactions from fans. Roman Reigns has not been pinned for more than 1,000 days at this point. He has held the Universal title for over 700 days as well. Logan Paul will face his biggest challenge to date at Crown Jewel 2022. It remains to be seen if he pulls off a major upset and ends up winning the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns on why he took the match against Logan Paul. Roman Reigns and the rest of the Bloodline showed up in Vegas for a special press conference to address Logan Paul and the rest of the WWE Universe. Things have gotten worse between Logan and Reigns since the recent episode of the Impulsive podcast. A YouTube sensation laid out a challenge for the champ and dared him to show up during the press conference. WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H made it official that the Tribal Chief will defend the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Logan at Crown Jewel on November 5th. During the press conference, Roman Reigns also took some questions from the media present. When asked about his decision to proceed with the match, Reigns mentioned that he took the fight since he was the face of the company, and it was his obligation to do so. The head of the table detailed that he would relish the opportunity to destroy Logan Paul in Saudi Arabia and continue his unbeaten streak as champion, because I'm a good tribal chief. As the face of WWE, the greatest sports entertainment and entertainment company in the whole world, that's my obligation to carry this company. If that's what they need me to do, smash Logan Paul in Saudi Arabia, then that's what I do, said Reigns. The undisputed WWE Universal Champion will bring the island of relevancy to the blue brand next week. After this week's episode of SmackDown, WWE announced that Roman Reigns will be on the show next week amidst an array of challengers lining up for him. For the last few weeks, stars like Drew McIntyre, Karrion Kross, Kevin Owens, and even the monster of all monsters Braun Strowman have been looking for a shot at the champ. With the match now set for WWE Crown Jewel, it will be interesting to see what the head of the table has to say next week. Who do you think will prevail at Crown Jewel? Let us know your predictions in the comments section below. Roman Reigns sends first threat to Logan Paul. Roman Reigns took to Twitter to send a warning message to Logan Paul after the confirmation of their match at Crown Jewel. During the recent press conference in Las Vegas, Triple H confirmed that Reigns will defend his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Paul. The two will face off at WWE's next premium live event in Saudi Arabia. Taking to Twitter, the head of the table put Paul on notice by sending him a warning message. The worldwide trip to the top of the mountain, and a beating for the entire world to see. The main event. #God Mode wrote Reigns. The seeds of the Reigns-Paul rivalry were planted after the Tribal Chief appeared on Paul's Impulsive podcast recently. After Reigns left the set, Paul took a subtle dig at the former, claiming that he could dethrone the head of the table. On this week's SmackDown, Paul was confronted by the Bloodline, as he came face to face with the likes of Paul Heyman, Sami Zayn, and other members of Reigns' faction. At the Crown Jewel press conference in Las Vegas, things got quite intense between Logan Paul and Roman Reigns, who had the Bloodline by his side. Despite Paul showing up all by himself, it didn't prevent him from taking digs at Reigns and his faction. After a brief verbal confrontation with Paul Heyman, the Maverick was shoved by Reigns. Triple H quickly stepped between the two men before things could get out of control. With the match now officially confirmed for Crown Jewel, Reigns will aim to successfully defend his undisputed WWE Universal Championship outside of the US once again. Roman Reigns has held the Universal title for 700+ days, having captured the title in 2020. While numerous WWE stars have made their intentions clear of dethroning the Tribal Chief, Logan Paul now has the opportunity to pull off the unthinkable in only his third WWE match. Solo Sikoa wants Sami's help to beat Roman Reigns. The Bloodline has been the most dominant stable in WWE in recent years. In 2020, Roman Reigns set the foundations of the stable with the help of Paul Heyman. After the head of the table defeated Jey Uso, the latter ended up becoming Reigns' right-hand man. In 2021, Jimmy Uso returned to the company after an injury. The two brothers were initially not on the same page, as Jimmy was against Roman Reigns' treatment of Jey. The two ultimately settled their differences and won the SmackDown Tag Team Championship from the Mysterios. Last week, Solo Sikoa came to the aid of Roman Reigns when Drew McIntyre came close to ending his title reign. The distraction allowed the Tribal Chief to capitalize and remain champion. On the next episode of SmackDown, Sikoa officially entered the stable. Since then, the Bloodline has not been seen together. This is due to Roman Reigns' lighter work schedule. Today, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, Jey and Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa and Sami Zayn appeared together for a press conference for Crown Jewel. Despite the drama going on in the Bloodline, some fans are even looking forward to the Bloodline breaking up, which might happen soon because let's face it, it's months before Logan Paul and Roman Reigns face each other. Anything can happen. Over the next few weeks, we will see how the heat between the Bloodline and Sami Zayn will escalate. Leave your comment below if you want to see Zayn betray Reigns or teaming up with Solo as he seeks revenge. If you remember, Roman Reigns forced Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso to do his biddings, and Solo Sikoa might need Sami's help to get revenge. In 2020, Roman Reigns made a surprising return and attacked Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. A week later, he became the Universal Champion by defeating Braun Strowman and Wyatt. Since then, Reigns hasn't lost the biggest prize on the blue brand. Last year, Jimmy and Jey Uso resolved their differences and reunited once again. The team defeated the Mysterios and became the SmackDown Tag Team Champion. Earlier this year, Roman Reigns defeated Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 38 to become the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. A few months ago, Jimmy and Jey Uso defeated RK Bro to win the Raw Tag Team Championships and unify the belts. Earlier this week, Solo Sikoa of the Bloodline went to NXT and won the North American Championship from Carmelo Hayes. Currently, the Bloodline holds the WWE, Universal, North American, Raw, and SmackDown Tag Team Championships. This marks the first time a stable has held championships from all three brands in the company at the same time. It will be interesting to see what the group does next. Do you want to see more gold added to the Bloodline? Sound off in the comments section.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my